Hello and welcome to F.Y.I. Live. Thank you for joining us, folks. I know we started a little bit late. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's all good. I am happy that I get the pleasure of interviewing today Grace Sanchez, who is working very close with the McKinley Center. And I'm excited to have you here, Grace, and for you to talk about the McKinley Center. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you, everyone, for having me. It's truly an honor to spend some time with you and to talk about McKinley. McKinley is a home. Actually, it started as an orphanage back 120 years ago. Do you believe that? 1901.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
crazy to think that we've been around for so long. So we have seen everything from, difficult times to the gold rush and everything. So we're based here in San Dimas, California. We are a residential treatment. That is really what we started as. We're licensed for 28 young men, starting at the age of 8 all the way to
If
18.
I can interrupt you for a second, Grace, before we get right into the McKinley program and all that, can you share with folks what you do for McKinley and a little bit about your background and your passion, why you got involved with McKinley?
Oh, thank you, Carlos. Yes, I have been a professional fundraiser for my entire career. And it's interesting how life, flows. I had been working with McKinley as a consultant, and they extended me an incredible offer to join them as the Senior Vice President of Development. So that means I run all of the fundraising efforts for McKinley. So I've been officially on board as of April 1st, but we've been working with the agency for about 9 months now.
Excellent.
You got to stop me, Carlos, because I can go.
No, I want to make sure that as we're talking about this, folks get to know who you are, what you're doing for McKinley. And obviously, I want to make sure that we have enough time because I've heard you speak about McKinley. I know what you guys are all about, but there's a lot of folks in our audience that really don't know much about it. And obviously, they are being led by a great individual such as yourself, because I know you have a very kind servant heart, always helping folks. I know that personally, and just the way you carry yourself in a lot of our meetings in different areas as well too. So please, talk about how it's been since you got into McKinley. Tell us a little bit about McKinley and how you're helping them out as well too.
Thank you so much, Carlos. So, when you talk about passion, I have a passion for helping people. And I love what McKinley does because it really is serving those that are most vulnerable. The young men who live on campus have come from, very neglected and abusive backgrounds. So the way that they have gotten here to McKinley is usually they have been removed from their homes, either because of, abuse, neglect, or a combination of all of those things. So, we get to really be an instrumental place for them, hopefully a place that they will always look back on with not only fond memories, but those that could say, wow, it was at McKinley that I really turned a corner, or I got love and support that encouraged me to become the best version of, their future selves. So, yes, so that's one area. We also have 2 schools. I think it's important to share. We have one school on campus at our Cypress location, which is our main campus. We serve approximately 160 students there.
Wow.
Some people ask, Carlos, like, well, why do you have a school? It's a non-public school, but it is, it's available to you to serve those, again, that are most vulnerable. We believe that every child deserves to receive the best quality of education that's available to them. So many of the children that, because of their background, really wouldn't be able to succeed or even survive in a way like, the regular public school would be maybe a little too much for them to be able to excel. So our school has a smaller ratio of students to the teachers. It's a little bit of a safer environment in a sense, meaning smaller and more intimate. So we also have a secondary school up in the high desert in Hesperia, and again, serving a more vulnerable community. We also, I think is important, Carlos, to share that we also provide mental health services to adults and to individuals in the community. So if you could imagine during this COVID time, people are really struggling. I mean, we've seen increase in, suicides and also with domestic violence. And so we are being very utilized right now in the mental health area because people are struggling with anxiety, depression, you know, crisis. Many of them have lost their job. We work hard to help people not to get to becoming homeless. So, I think what's interesting, Carlos, is that we started as an orphanage, but now we are so many things. We are able to help foster children. We have about 220 foster children. So that means
Wow.
220 foster families who actually, take care of these children. And then with that comes the adoption agency. So if someone, has really bonded with their child, they have an opportunity to maybe extend their home and their family by adopting them and making them a permanent member of their home.
That's excellent. You know what? And that's definitely new things that you guys are doing that I wasn't aware of too. So that's really huge. I'd like for you to address also like the concept of McKinley. Even on your website, it talks about youth, family, and community. So I
Yeah,
see is the stuff that you're talking about. It really just integrates all of that into one just huge collaborative effort. I think for everybody, right?
absolutely.
I've heard you talk about some of the needs sometimes that you guys have right now. I've heard you also speak about you have a mentoring program. Do you want to talk a little bit about that as well?
Absolutely. Thank you. So one of the things that we realize is that, we all, I'm sure that you and throughout your life, if it be a family member or a friend, someone who came alongside you and was willing to pour into you, give you, in Spanish, we call them consejos, little words of
Hmm.
wisdom, to encourage us in our journey of life. So as you can imagine, because many of the children, the young men on campus, they have been removed from their families. So they don't necessarily have those circles. So being a mentor is a wonderful way that people can give. It averages about 2 hours a week. Sometimes it could be one, it just depends. Right now with COVID, we are allowing people to meet with our young men through Zoom or Google. But it's just the typical listening, exposing them to opportunities. Maybe it's taking them to, hopefully once we return to more normalcy of schedules, but a baseball game, even out to have ice cream or coming to campus and just being there, available to listen, to inquire, to encourage. So those are the goals of our mentoring. Is we pair you up with a student, a child, and then the process begins. We do have an application process, and there is a few steps that we need to take just to ensure the safety of our students and our youth.
Absolutely.
But it's a beautiful way to get involved. There also have been opportunities where a lot of very kind and generous people have offered to bring pizzas or In-N-Out burgers to our young men who live on campus, because since March, they have not been able to leave the campus. Usually,
Wow.
yes, could you imagine? I mean, it's just been very, very challenging, and they've had to do school there because most of us do go to school, but since schools have been closed. So, if someone has an interest in saying, I'll volunteer or I'll bring some pizzas for the boys, it would be a blessing. Carlos, do I have time to talk a little bit about this charity miles that we're doing as well?
Actually, it's funny because I was going to bring that up next. So I'm glad you're bringing it up also. So
Oh,
please,
great.
by all means.
All right. So what Charity Miles is, it's a partnership that we've done with an app that you can download on your phone, and then you pick McKinley as the charity. And, right now, being that the gyms are closed and everything is kind of, different, this is a great way that we're calling it Make Every Mile Matter. You can set a pledge. You could say, I'm going to walk 40 miles in the next 2 months. And you could say, I'm going to pledge 50 cents, a dollar, whatever it is comfortable for you. And then you will be able to begin to walk. You just hit that button, and then it's tracking your steps and your miles. And at the end, you can also share that with your family and friends through your social media. And you could say, hey, I'm walking for McKinley. I'm trying to stay fit and not gain weight during this COVID, and I want my miles to matter. So you can offer it to people who could say, "Hey, I'll join you. I'll pledge either by the mile, or I could give a flat fee. I'll give $10 toward your effort, or $20." So this way, you're also spreading the word about McKinley. You're letting other people come alongside. And, this is our 120th anniversary. So we have set a goal for the next 12 months to raise $120,000 through Charity Miles.
Awesome.
So we
Okay.
need to spread the word, and we need to get folks. The city of San Dimas is contemplating choosing us as their charity of choice and really promoting this throughout the community.
Okay, so here's a challenge for those of you guys that are watching, the replay. So we want to get the charity challenge out there. We want to make sure that if you want some more information, we have the website for McKinley below. So make sure that you log on the website. You can call McKinley to grab some additional details. But I want to put a challenge out to you guys as the FYI Live Challenge. Let's get together, folks. Let's get a group of individuals. Send me through a private message if you want to be part of this challenge, and let's get some of this donation going for McKinley for a great cause as well. So please send us some additional information, Grace, and I'll be more than happy to share it with everyone so we can make sure we reach that goal for you guys. The sooner the better as well too.
Thank you, Carlos. I will follow up and send you a link that you could put to your audience and everyone. And just for something fun, you guys can become an FYI team for McKinley. So everybody can join your team, and then you guys as a team are raising money for McKinley. It would be very, very powerful and inspirational, and ever so grateful for all of what you guys are doing for those that truly need it, especially during this time.
So Team FYI, I got my first person, Marilyn Sparks, is going to counter in. So I'm going to put her on this team as well too. So if you'd like to join Team FYI Live, please send me a message so we can get going on this and this great charity as well too. Grace, one thing that I wanted to ask you too, while we still have a little bit of time, is I know you've been around the world. You've done a lot of great work with folks. You've really given yourself. You have a really servant heart, and you're a servant leader. As you've been working with McKinley, what are some highlights of that you come across? Some really good highlights that you've changed kids' lives around.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, it's so awesome to have you ask that question. I think that, yes, I have been privileged to be able to work for some really outstanding organizations throughout my career. But, never have I been able to walk over and to see the campus and to see the children and to see, the actual lives being changed. I'm going to do something, Carlos, that's going to be a little strange, but I'm just going to do it. I'm reaching into my desk, and we are going to be telling our young boys stories. and we're going to do it in an animated video. But look at this. These are drawings from one of our young boy who lives at the cottages. And I just had
Wow.
asked him, you know, can you just draw me something? So what we're going to be
Wow.
doing is we're going to use these images in the cartoon and the animation, and each young boy will be able to associate with which character they want to be in the story. So, you know, I think the message I want to leave everyone is with this. You know, my mother always told me it's not from where you start, but it's how you finish. So these young boys, they didn't get to pick their lives. They didn't get to pick their parents. They didn't get to pick what family they were born into. And many of them have, you know, come from very hurtful backgrounds, parents who abused them, parents who neglected them, parents who betrayed them. And yet here they are at McKinley in a loving, surrounded, beautiful place where they are being loved and encouraged and healing. And my thoughts are, look at this. This young boy is so talented. When I asked him, what are your dreams? He said, I want to be, you know, an artist. He loves animation. So that's going to be one of the
Awesome.
28 dreams that we're going to begin to share with people, because you know, I know there's a lot of great work being done around the world, but I've always been a believer in start in your community, start in that inner circle, and then build out, because you don't have to go and catch a plane if you want to see lives changed. Come over to the campus. We can put you to work. We've got volunteer opportunities. You could become a mentor, so into the lives of these young men, because you know what? They're the next president, they're the next governor, they're the next doctors and lawyers. And, you know, I just am a believer in so into their lives. You will reap blessings greater than you could have ever dreamed of or imagined, especially when you get to experience them. So, Carlos, I'm worried I've gone over time, but thank you for having me. And I'd be glad if people want to hear more, I'd come back in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, and actually, I was going to suggest that if we definitely can create a little bit of a series to talk about and feature some different programs that you have at McKinley. One of the things too that I'd like to do is for folks to be aware. I know with the COVID, there's limitations to where you can probably give tours, but maybe you and I can talk a little about doing a virtual tour for McKinley, so folks are a little bit more
Absolutely.
aware
We
of
can
that as well
definitely
too.
do that. We can definitely do that. And I would love that. I would love to walk you around and show you. And in time, I would love those who sign up for the team. We're going to be having an In-N-Out burger truck come to our main campus to celebrate at the end of the campaign for you know, the charity miles. We would love to invite everybody who is willing to walk on our behalf. And I would like to leave with this challenge. When you're walking, imagine that you're walking for one of those 28 boys. Let that be something that you put in your heart, that you're going to walk for one of them. And I just imagine, take on the theory of walk in their shoes. We can't
Yeah.
even begin to imagine what they've been through, but just be willing to walk on behalf of them and in their shoes. So thank you again, Carlos. I'm honored and privileged to have spent some time with you today.
I appreciate it, Grace. Also, folks, like I said, below we have the website on there, so make sure that you take notes. You can look at the website, some of the great programs that Grace and her staff are doing, and also you can get a hold of Grace through the website as well too. Office number is there, so please make sure that you are you follow her as well too. So again, folks, remember we have a challenge out there. If you didn't catch the challenge, please watch the replay, share it out with folks. If you want to join Team FYI Live, please send me a private message so we can help with these charity miles as well to help these 28 boys gain some traction, gain some momentum. For me, helping kids has always been very dear to my heart. My background has been in education. I've seen the gamut. I mean, I could tell you more stories if we had more time, but that's for another episode and another time, because you and I can definitely share some great cases and great stories that we've come across with kids who just have done the impossible to succeed, and now they're up out there doing some amazing things and giving back the same way that we're given that same opportunity. So Grace, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for you and your team. And I look forward to us connecting again and talking a little bit more. And in the meantime, folks, like I said, please make sure that you visit the website and you follow Grace as well too. So thank you, Grace.
Thank you so much, Carlos. We'll be in touch, guys.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. This is FYI Live. I am your host, Carlos Garcia. Until the next Lunch and Learn, stay tuned.